Alright guys, back by popular demand, Acharya Prashant. We've got The Silent Killer of Love. Not totally sure what this is all about, but it was very popular on his YouTube channel, and I know you guys like his stuff, so I thought we'd react again. Alright, let's do it.
We are so keen to turn the love into a relationship. And the moment it becomes a relationship, love is gone. Now there will be expectations. Now there will be a definite code of conduct. You are my boyfriend. How can you look at somebody else? You are my wife. You must take care of me. Go and clean my underwear. And that's what wives do. Now why must one independent adult clean the underwear of another independent adult? But because you are a wife, so you will do this. And when you are cleaning underwears, do you really feel like loving that man? Love is gone. Now love is gone. Now duty has come in. And love is not a duty. Love is not a duty. Love is absolute freedom. In your freedom you love, right? You are not compelled to love. You are not compelled to love. But now there is underwear. And you are a good wife now. What can you do? And soon there will be kids. Because a wife must produce kids. A lover is not constrained to produce kids, but the wife must produce kids. If you are somebody's girlfriend, you can walk away anytime. But the wife has a certain respectability. She cannot walk away anytime. What can you do? Now the individuals are lost and the images are living. The individual is gone and it's the wife who is talking. Have you ever wondered in all these movies that you see, why do all love stories end at marriage? There will be an entire love story and what happens in the end? Marriage. And after that? The end. You should ask. What is happening after this? That is the real thing. Show that. But then the movie is ended. They will not show you that now she is cleaning the... That's the real thing that you should have asked. But they are very clever, right? If they start showing you that, then the society's objectives will be defeated. The society does not want you to love. The society does not want you to love. The society does not want lovers. It wants husbands and wives. The society hates lovers, but it loves husbands and wives. It will say, go quickly get married. Doesn't matter, you don't love each other, doesn't matter, go and get married. Marriage is good, love is bad. And marriage is a name, so is any other relationship. I'm not advocating a live-in kind of thing. Even that is a name. Even in that there are expectations. Even in that there are expectations. And I'm not talking of just the love between a man and a woman. In every relationship, there are no individuals. Father and son. Do the father and son really talk to each other? No. It's the father talking to the son. Not an individual talking to an individual. That is why sons are restless with fathers and fathers are never happy with their sons. Because a father can never be happy with a son. An individual can be happy with another individual, not a father with a son. But we are so eager, he is my son. He will not say he's an individual. Have we ever seen our father as an individual? Very difficult. And that is why there is so much of suffering in our relationships. That is why our relationships are so dead. And we constantly feel like moving away. There is certain suffocation there. So it is good that you are realizing that relationship causes trouble. Great that you have realized this. Now you are free from life. All your life, if you are learning your lesson, then you will avoid relationship. Yes, you will relate like a free bird. Relating is another thing. Relationship is totally different thing. It's a wonderful thing that it's happening to you at such an early age. There are people who grow 40 years old, 50 years old, 80 years old, they still don't realize. And they die wondering, what did I do wrong? They think probably life is suffering. Then they say, life is hell. What can I do?
That was a quick little interesting video there, huh?
I just agree with all of it. I just agree with it. Now, the weird thing is, I'm in a monogamous relationship and have no plan of getting out of it. And I'm content with that, and you are too, and yours.
I think he was pointing to
There's almost
something.
nothing to even say, but he's just right. He is correct. Now, I think that there's room to be like, well, what about the population drop? What if everybody stops taking marriage seriously and like being a parent seriously? What happens if we just lose our interest in the nuclear family or something like that?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because we get baby fever as humans. You ever like? There's a lot of people, even if you don't happen to fall into this group of people, there's a lot of people that see a baby and your heart like opens and breaks, and you want to cuddle it and you want to take care of it, and sometimes you're like, I want to have one too. They're so cute and lovable babies, you know. And then there's people from like a colder thing that are like, all they do is shit and cry and blah blah blah, and that's valid too. Maybe you shouldn't have kids if that's your. Why would you have one if that's your thing? But there are definitely people. I've known people that have like 7 kids, and they're like, I love babies. I can't wait for my kids to have kids, and they're not lying. They mean it. They're motherly or they're fatherly by nature. And I agree with that, as seeing your offspring as individuals, giving them opportunity to flourish in whatever they happen to be, the individual that they are, and not course correcting, because you just, that's like being a control freak to some degree. What would a world look like if we got rid of the nuclear family? If we just went and it was gone? You know, what's the smallest the population on Earth's ever been? Like 20,000, 110,000 or something? Like during the Ice Age or something like that? Like the population is in the billions. And people are like, there's a real fear. And I know I don't understand all the math, but I'm saying we could get pretty low and still be on the planet.
Yeah. I think he was making kind of an exaggerated point. Maybe he wasn't. I don't even know if he was making a case necessarily that you have to blow up the family unit. I think the core of the message was that the titles that you give it and the expectations that you put on what it should look like. You have this idea in your head about, I think you could still do those things, be married, but not have the same traditional understanding outlook of what it. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Why would you be married though?
Well, because some people are already. It takes a long time.
If you're married,
some people are married already, man.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Well, if you're mature about everything and you hate each other and it's not working, like I care about compassion. I care about consideration. I care about things being done with a genuine empathy for everyone involved. 2 people that are married that love each other and don't want to get divorced, you don't have to. Stay married. It's lovely. That's great. But there's people that are suffering. They really hate each other and they want to get divorced. But sometimes they'll be like, well, the only way to make this do it right is for me to decide I hate you. You know what I mean? And then things get ugly because there's so much conditioning and all this shit going into it.
Even society too also makes it extremely complicated to once together to separate. They also make it like because there's things involved and
with any relationship there's a great opportunity with marriage there, which is to grow and to learn how to if you're sort of immature, there's an opportunity to develop some maturity when it comes to like service to another person and an opportunity for them to take care of you and learn something about demonstrative, actionable love. Like, I'm doing this out of my dedication towards you. There's lessons you can learn from vows to things and seeing things through. That's all there. But if you're not married yet, like, you're in the thing. We're not in a day and age where marriage doesn't exist. It still totally exists. And so you're going to do it. That's fine. If you're not going to do it, whatever. There'll be lessons abound in all whatever you do. But imagine a culture where it wasn't a thing anymore. You did not have to sign a paper, and it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
There was somebody that was like, I want to surround this child with love. As long as it's not the adults in this baby rearing situation, whether it's 3 dudes and a girl, or, there's not even a girl there, or there's 5 women, or whatever the case is. If the baby is surrounded by love and understanding and opportunity to flourish and opportunity to take on different things, that would seem primary to me. Most important, that the baby's nurtured and loved. And then, there's probably something to having different aspects of, masculinity and femininity from wherever they're coming from, influencing that baby's outlook on life. But imagine a culture where people were sort of free, without any judgment, without any shadowy, shameful stuff going on, to be a little more open sexually and a little more open about their desire to go from different partners. And maybe that would make the community more tightly knit. Maybe people would be even tighter if it was all consensual. Nobody's being a creep in this scenario, but people maturely didn't have to have arranged marriages in a sense. Like, not only do I gotta get married, I gotta get married to a specific kind of person, regardless of what I'm actually interested in.
I think the evolution of some of these understandings are slowly creep into society. Like nowadays, it's way more common to see people who didn't go through a whole marriage ceremony. I know lots of people that have been living with the same partner for years, but they decided not to get married. They even have kids together, and they just didn't go through all the ceremony and stuff like that. But even still, what's even weird about and creepy about is that governments still get their little claws in on relationships like that. They'll make up a law like, well, okay, we've decided that if you live together with someone more than 6 months, you're actually like married, and you have to go through all the same crap even if you decide to break up. They'll like make you run through like a gauntlet of things to try to like fix. The truth is, you decide to not stay together.
You're right. That's another aspect. The reality is it's piled high with complicated things that have to do with it. You're not just gonna go out there and claim your Don Juan freedom and go sleep with a bunch of people without consequences. That's asinine. That's ridiculous. You're not gonna do that. We live in a society but it is true that people really don't give a shit about love. They care. People are still getting married, right? I don't care how miserable they are. The divorce lawyers are going to be out of a job if everybody's in love in marriage. They care about money. Lawyers. Who are we kidding? So people need to be getting divorced, and we need fresh people getting married, and we need sitcoms to make about shitty marriages of people constantly making cracks at each other and call that love. But there's a kind of lack of maturity there. Like, how if we imagine with our minds how these things may have started at one point. You've got like people freshly out of the caves. There's no religion yet or anything like that. And then a guy gets with a woman and they kind of love each other. They're having a good time and they're sleeping with each other. And then there's another guy from the tribe walks up and he's better at sex. And then he's like, oh, that's okay. I guess we can share. But she's like, yeah, I don't even want you anymore. He's better. Then the guy becomes murderous. Because, there's survival on the line and everything like that. But we're more sophisticated than that now. And I would say for future generations that, like, I don't think we're ready to just slam it into another gear and just toss marriage right out. Some people would say that. But I'm saying out of all consideration and mercy on all of us for not wanting to be too radical, I'm saying future generations, it would be pretty ridiculous for people to still be doing like old notions of things because they're just what we're used to. And we think that's how it has to be. We might be able to be freer than that.
Things are changing. And I think in the next 102 years, we might start to see a lot more of what you're talking about taking place. Not the traditional nuclear family. I anticipate, like I'm already seeing it with even the people my age and the new generation, they got their own way of doing stuff, and it's not the same as what I'm used to, but to each their own.
Well, don't go thinking that's going to save you either, though. A lot of people, their problem is they're like a love and sex addict, and they're like, woohoo, that's all I needed. And it's like, no, you're going to go off and be unsatisfied by that too. There's just a problem of maturity. It's a problem of figure out how these things started in the first place. Figure out what would have led to like these acts and why you feel jealous, why you're possessive, why you are hurt and why you feel like you need to justify things and why all these weird little petty relationship dynamics. He talked a lot. Go watch the video he actually said again, because he talked a lot about the difference between relating to someone and relationships. We're around each other all the time now. You know what I mean? And why are we so like greedy? It goes into, why would a relationship between anybody not work if it wasn't for things like fear and greed and pettiness and jealousy, and why am I the one that's got to do this and you should be doing that? It's funny how much he talked about underwear. Like, I know the first half of that. He's like, damn it, man. What do you think? She's supposed to want to get it on with you after she's cleaned your stinking I don't want to clean anybody's underwear. I don't want to do that. Do my own laundry and have somebody else do their own.
Yeah. But anyway, good video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed our reaction on it. Another Acharya Prashant video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone, till next time, stay spiritual.